record on this computer. Okay, now it's recording. So today I'm going to tell you a story of merchant and parrot. Let me share the screen for you. Share screen. It's the first time I share a screen on Zoom.
Oh.
Okay, do you see it?
There.
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, Rooney.
Do you need some IT support?
Are you going to help me with that? Okay, the story is a merchant and parrot. The story is from the Rumi book, and Rumi was a great poet, Iranian poet, very famous over there. Like his book is famous after Quran. His stories are very inspirational, and he is the leader of the Sufism over there. Like all the Sufism, like him, like a prophet. The book has hundreds of the stories. I like this one, and I'm going to tell this one to you. The parrot and the merchant. So merchant was Iranian merchant, and as you know, those days back, like 100 years ago, there was no airplane, cars, anything. So merchants were brave people who used to travel everywhere around the world, from obviously Iran to China to India, and bring stuff. They were really rich, but they had to go through all the dangerous traveling and stuff like that. So our merchant had a parrot, and his parrot was very good parrot. The parrot could speak and was the merchant's best friend. The merchant had spent a lot of money to buy this parrot and train him. So he really liked the parrot. One day, merchant decided to go to a business trip to India. And then, since this was a dangerous trip, he goes to all of his family and say goodbye. And then ask them if they need any specific souvenir for them to bring. Each family member says something. And finally, since merchant liked the parrot a lot, he goes to the parrot and says, "My parrot, would you like me to bring you something from India?" And parrot says, "No, my master, I don't need anything to bring. Just if it is possible, tell my message to my friends to my family over there. They live in the jungle next to the place that you are going to do the business. So I appreciate it if you could do that after you finish your business works." Merchant says that, "Of course, I like you a lot, and I'm going to do this for you. What's the message?" Parrot says that, "Once you got to the jungle and you found my family, just go and talk to one of them and say that I am here. And actually, I am not happy because I am in the cage. And my life is very boring. I need to fly around. I like to fly around, and I like to go around and see stuff, but I can't because I am in a cage, and I am very unhappy about this. Do you have any advice for me to be happier in the cage, or anything that makes me happy and makes my life joyful?" Merchant says, "Oh, I'm sorry hearing this. I didn't know that you are not happy here with all these comfortable things that I provide for you. But unfortunately, I cannot let you go because I spent a lot of money on you. And you know you are my best companion. But the only thing that I can do, I take your message over there." So everything goes on, and merchant goes to India and does his business. And after the business, he remembers his parrot's message and goes to the jungle and goes all the way until reach to the place that the parrots were similar to his parrot. So he knows that this is the parrot's family. So he goes to one of them and says, "Hi, parrot, can I talk to you for a minute?" Parrot says, "Yes, of course you can talk to me. What's up?" Merchant says that, "I have a parrot from your family, and I have him in my home, and he is my best companion. He sent you a message. Parrot says that, what's the message? Merchant says, message is this. He's not happy and he needs advice and whatever, and tells the whole message. After finishing after the story, the message finished, Parrot, something really weird happened. Parrot froze for a little bit, then trembled, and then shaked, and then fell down and died. Merchant said, wow, what happened? What's going on? He went further and touched the parrot, and parrot was dead. Merchant said, wow, what a stupid man I am. Why should I have done this? Of course, this is his family, and he's going to get sad, and maybe he couldn't like stand the sadness of this message, and he died. I should have thought about this before. So he got really sad and returned back to his town. He went to everybody from his family and gave them the souvenir. Meanwhile, Parrot asked, did you take my message? By any chance, could you do that? Merchant said, yes, I did that, but I wish I wouldn't have done that. Parrot says, what happened? Could you tell me what happened? Merchant said the story that I told your message, and after that, the poor parrot trembled and shook and fell down and died. Then suddenly something weird happened again. His own parrot started to tremble and then shake and fell down and died. Merchant couldn't believe this, so he opened the door and then touched his parrot, and the parrot was dead. So he regretted again a lot. He said that I did the mistake one time. Why should I have done that the second time? So he was so sad and took out the parrot, took the parrot out and put it somewhere and started to dig a hole to bury his parrot. But the parrot started to flying and went up and sat on a tree. Merchant said, wow, what happened? What's the secret of this? Parrot said, this is not what you think. Neither me and neither that parrot in the jungle was dead. So I sent him a message, and he sent me back a message. And the message was that if you want to be free, you have to be dead. So the cage you are living in it is like a body. Actually, this is in the Rumi's book. All the cages are like the body, and the soul is the bird. So if you want to be free, you have to be died. People keep you in the cage because you have skills, and as long as you have skills, they keep it in the cage. So if you want to get rid of it, you have to be died. You have to be dead, and once you are dead, you cannot talk and you cannot do like play stuff for them, like, and they let you go. So the moral of this story is, as I said, the cage is the body, and if like once we started life, we go and learn skills and then make money, and once we make money, we want to build a house and buy a car and whatever, and these are like a cage, keep us inside that. So if you want to be free and you want to go everywhere in the world and see stuff and experience and challenge ourselves, we have to get rid of all this materialistic stuff and think a little more free about all the world, and don't be afraid of like letting of like the job that we don't like and go to the one that we love, and all the things that maybe you know better about that. But thank you so much for listening to my story. This is my second storytelling experience, and I hope I've done that better. Like my professor says that, you know.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you for listening. I really appreciate you spent your time and came here.
You want me to proofread your story?
Yeah, did you write some notes? So if you have any feedback for me, because still I'm recording, so I'm gonna record this and give my professor so he can deduct the score and doesn't think so much about how to do that.
I thank you so much for including us in this. Very much.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you for coming.
The story actually means a lot more too, especially coming from you and knowing you. There's a lot more to that when you're telling it that comes from the heart, and I can really appreciate that in ways that I don't know if I would know. I don't know if it's because I know some about you, but but maybe not. But it's a beautiful story. I had not ever actually heard this, and I heard of it, but I had not read it. So thank you for sharing that one. Very, very much. Very meaningful.
Yeah, thank you. Our teacher said that we have to select the stories that we really love it from the heart. Mm-hmm. So we can tell it from the heart. So the stories come from the heart. So I went through and found that the Rumi's stories are the ones that I love the best. So I selected this one.
Yeah, I like Rumi very much, as a matter of fact. So it's a nice treat that you chose that. But like I say, the way that you express it, adding in the commentary about trying to explain some of the things with it, I think were very effective. And like I say, you tell it from a place that's not just telling or reading a story. It's coming from a place, I think, of familiarity and and overcoming obstacles and challenges, and as we talk about the cages of life, so to speak. I think you did a wonderful job at conveying that message. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. Larry, how about my English? Was anything correct? Did I say anything correct?
I'm such a lazy teacher that you still have an accent.
That's what I always complain about. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of Rumi quotes, but I have not heard that story before, so I liked it.
Yeah, Rumi has tons of stories in his book.
Yeah.
Like
you showed us a picture of that book. It came on the cover.
I found this is like the mixture of. I made this picture, so it's a mix of the book, the book cover, and then I put like the stories. A story like a picture of the story, and then put it over there,
And what does Masnavi mean?
Masnavi is the book of Rumi, and Masnavi comes from Masnavi comes from writing. Like the word is actually Arabic. The root of the word is Arabic. So, and then something that there is a quote in my language when they said somebody made a lot of writing. They said that because Masnavi is 70 man, and each man is 6 kilograms. So that means that the book was 70 times 6, like 420 kilogram worth of writing. That's because Rumi never, it was like when he was telling his poems, he was in a stage of ascese and like kind of he was not on the earth. And he had this like student who his name was Sirajuddin, and he was in charge of just writing whatever he's telling. So in one session, he maybe like used to tell like 200 poem, like a lot, and the poem is not, it doesn't have relate, because whatever he think at a moment, it was like a spark. He told that, he never like concerned about telling something beautiful or whatever, but the poems have a lot of beautiful meanings. It was a lot of inspiration to him and then to the humanity through him.
So what was the parrot's name?
I don't know. I wasn't there, Larry.
You can make one up.
Larry is very good with playing with words and stuff like that,
Yeah, I had never heard of this guy, so I took a screenshot when you popped the book cover up.
You never heard
so
of?
Be sure to look him up. It's just amazing, like, modern society, we have all these problems, right? And I'm not talking about I'm talking about like personal problems, like we can't cope, failure, and being unhappy, and what's the meaning of life, and all these things. And it's like these same questions were the same questions people had 1,000 years ago, and
Yes.
still nobody knows the answer. It just shows you how intelligent. We think that our modern culture is like highly intelligent, but a lot of the ancient cultures were just as intelligent and expressed the same views that we have today.
Yeah. Always a humanity issue. Do you know Alchemist, written by Paulo Coelho?
Yes.
Yeah, that was inspired by one of the Rumi's stories as well. So Paulo Coelho loved like Rumi.
You did this as an assignment?
Yes, this is an assignment I have to submit tomorrow. I am a lazy student, so this is the last night I could do that. Imagine if you wouldn't show up here. What happened to me?
You would be just fine, actually. Things happen when they're supposed to happen, and you are right on time, my dear.
That's when you just create a bunch of bot accounts and then tell the story to your bots.
Well, they've had people put faces of people on phones, so you could actually just log in different accounts and just have a phone,
exactly.
propped up on a tripod or something. A little bunch of faces now.
Nice.
Now you're too honest for that. So am I. But yeah, Rumi is one of my very favorites, though. This is really cool that you chose this. I had no idea. So
yeah, once I send it to you, I expected that you're gonna know Rumi, and like
I'm a fan for sure.
Yeah, as I am familiar with you as well. Okay, thank you so much for listening to my story and with my accent and lazy student and everything. So let me stop the recording and